By the one and only stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut. Get a large one-topping stuffed crust pizza, and we'll stuff the crust with the gooey, melty, delicious cheese. Order now at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Lakers basketball is a final.
Time to recap everything from Tuesday night against Phoenix.
877-710 ESPN.
It's the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show.
Tipping off now.
Now, here's Alan Sliwa.
Lakers lose to the Los Angeles Clippers, 105-102, the final score. Lakers now drop to 5 games below 500. The Clippers back to 500. So, obviously, the position for the Lakers, every game critical at this point. Only 23 games left. And we're going to go to Lakers head coach Frank Vogel here in just a second. Let me set up the phone calls real quick. Phone number is 877-710-ESPN if you want to be a part of the show. Feel free to shoot us a call. Appreciate everybody that's also tuned in on our social media platforms. It's a tough loss. It's a tough loss because you expect to win a game like this. Let me make sure that I say this properly. I know there's probably a lot of Laker fans say, well, how do you expect them to win any of these games? They're not a guaranteed or a lock to win any of these games. But down 16, come all the way back. You felt like, all right, they're starting to take control of this game. And you give the Clippers a lot of credit because they're gutsy, they play hard. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's about the Lakers closing out this game. Took a 6-point lead. You thought they were, I guess you could say, in a spot here where they're going to close out the game. 6-point lead was the largest lead that the Lakers had. I thought some poor execution at the end, the difference of the game. Clippers also hit some shots. Don't understand some of these reviews. I think the final 30 seconds of the game or final minute of the game took 20 minutes or something along those lines. That never makes sense to me. I'm sure you guys heard John Ireland and Michael Thompson voicing their displeasure. So at the end of the day, when you needed a big shot from your key players, when you needed in that final possession, smart from Ty Lue to throw a double team at LeBron and make somebody else make a bucket or take a shot, it was Carmelo taking a three-pointer that I thought was ill-advised. I thought there was still a lot of time left. Don't know why the Lakers took their time in that final possession. Attack the basket, you're down by 1. That doesn't happen. Lakers shoot off a 3. And then by the time I know the end of the game, the final couple of seconds ended, there's even more storylines to it. But LeBron took a fadeaway 3 with 0.7 seconds left, and that was a wrap. Let's start off the postgame show by taking a listen to Lakers head coach Frank Vogel. Also, just a reminder, if you need a break from the everyday, Fantasy Springs Resort Casino wants to give you a 2-night stay with dinner, golf, or bowling for 2. So be tonight's best caller. You can call in at 877-710-ESPN and visit FantasySpringsResort.com to book today. So hopefully we give that out today. Let's take a listen here. Here is Lakers head coach Frank Vogel on the Lakers' 105-102 loss to the Clippers.
The review at about 8.5 minutes. Just wondered what you were seeing during that time, the explanation from the refs, and kind of just the impact of that whole thing in the final minute.
Yeah, well, it's a complicated play. I mean, the time is just, they're going to take as much time as it takes to get it right. I disagree strongly with the ruling. I think it's total BS. They called the play dead when Covington steps out of bounds. Okay, and they try to tell me that because it was close to that play that Bron was out of bounds, so then it's going to be Clippers ball. Okay, the whistle doesn't blow until Covington steps out of bounds. Okay, so to go back to Bron stepping out of bounds, okay, is a separate entity entirely, and like I couldn't disagree more strongly with the ruling. Okay, I mean, if you're going to go back further than that, then how about LeBron got pushed out of bounds? Like, why don't we go back to that? It's wrong. Okay, they were going to challenge either way, whether I call it a timeout or not. And, it should have been our ball in that situation. Very disappointed.
So you end up challenging the next play and get the ball back after the turnover.
Yeah.
And so on the final possession, look, they had been trapping LeBron. What were you guys?
Yeah, we knew they were going to double team. We moved the ball around and attack. We should be able to get something great. And, Melo thought he had a clean look. Maybe had one more. I trust Melo in that spot. But, we didn't convert. So, not good enough.
Frank, it seems like a lot of the sort of particular things that happen on a night-to-night basis throughout the season have changed, but generally this is a pretty familiar formula. Fall behind by a lot, come back, and then stuff doesn't shake out in the end. I know we use the word frustrating a lot, but how tough is it to watch this team kind of run into these?
Yeah, my mind is only on tonight's game, not on what happened before tonight. Disappointed in a loss, and we'll get back to work tomorrow.
Were you able to have any dialogue to express your point about Covington being the final play?
Yeah, I said it's not. They said it's proximate matter. I said it was before that play, and they said no. And look, obviously it's 8 minutes. It's an 8-minute review. They're getting this from Secaucus. What the league's ruling on it is. It's not one official. Ruling on it. It's the 3 officials on the game and Secaucus. So, that's their ruling. I disagree strongly with it. I think it's going to be something that's talked about in the summertime, and the Clippers benefited from tonight.
And as for the other one where they called the foul on Talon, you guys used a review. It was successful. Were you aware? I guess you probably were aware that the 8-second call would still be in play. For sure, that's why we challenged it. Well, to keep them off the free throw line, but it was in the backcourt. They only had 1 second. Right. So we put somebody back in center field, made them catch it in the backcourt, and forced the turnover. And just the fact that Reggie probably was going to have to get the ball out of his hands to avoid the 8-second, and that could have led to some sort of situation for you. So was that another thing weighing on how you think about this last minute of the game? Yeah, we got the turnover. That's that's what we're looking for.
Frank, you mentioned that the Clippers were going to challenge regardless whether you take the timeout. When you're considering whether or not to call it, is that
first of all
firing?
They don't blow the whistle till Covington has the ball, steps out of bounds, and dribbles out of the ball. The whistle doesn't blow at all. So to me, there's no discussion here. Okay, the whistle doesn't blow until Covington touches the ball or steps out. It didn't blow. You look at the tape. The official, it's a play on when Bron taps it. It's a play on. Okay, Covington touches out of bounds. Okay, and then the whistle blows. What is there to review? So even if they challenge it, it's still going to be our ball. Okay, and we got a chance to win the game.
Did they tell you? So they challenge it. Before the challenge, the refs go to the monitor too. Was that to look at the clock? Or?
They told me they were looking at how much time. Okay. Yeah.
All right, that's Lakers head coach Frank Vogel right there. You could tell he's heated. He's heated about that last possession, which, by the way, Funches is telling me right here, the last 30 seconds of the game took 20 minutes. Listen, you want them to get it right. Ultimately, these reviews, it is ridiculous. You can review every possession in every game, and I know you only have one review per game, but they're reviewing all the time. Is it a clear path? Is it a flagrant 1, flagrant 2? That's happening in all the games. But I've never actually really seen, this is, I've had the opportunity to do the postgame show since Vogel has been the head coach of the Lakers. I've never really seen him that heated on a specific possession. I've never really seen him that heated in that spot right there. And ultimately for the Lakers, they got another shot, down 1. So I don't think that play really determined the game because Reggie Jackson eventually had an 8-second count. But I get the frustration. Because he doesn't understand why the Lakers are in that spot. He doesn't understand, for that specific possession, why they're reviewing it. I guess I didn't look at it from that perspective. Even listening to John and Michael during the game, we didn't. That's not something I heard them bring up as well as, hey, can you review that? Aren't you looking at a Covington play? You can't go back and say, well, let's go back because LeBron had touched the ball. So I see where he's coming from. Lakers had a shot. He talked about Carmelo's possession, that he trusts Carmelo in that spot. Just wasn't a good shot. That cannot be the shot you get when you're down 1. You're taking a 25 3-point shot, 25-footer. I'm sure that's not what Coach Vogel was looking for in that position, in that spot. That ultimately is really the last opportunity that the Lakers got. The final shot from LeBron, a fadeaway 25-footer with 0.7 seconds left to go, was online, but the chances of making that is obviously incredibly slim. Okay, let's do this when we come back. We're going to take your phone calls, 877-710-ESPN. If you're on hold, stay on hold. I'll make sure to take your calls. Plus, we'll get a chance to hear from Russell Westbrook. This is the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show on 710 ESPN.
This is Keyshawn in the morning. My man, Dr. Clapper, and the Weekend Warrior Show. Start your Saturday morning. Join the doc from 7 to 9 a.m.
The Weekend Warrior Show with Dr. Clapper, presented by Cedars-Sinai.
Hey, Dr. Clapper.
How are you?
Saturday mornings from 7 to 9.
It's
Seconds with Trevor Ariza. Trevor, tacos or burgers?
I'm gonna go with tacos.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Favorite cheat meal?
Ooh, peanut butter and jelly.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Favorite Saturday morning cartoon growing up?
Animaniacs. Animaniacs.
Funniest player on the team?
Goofiest would be Dwight.
Favorite superhero?
Batman.
Tonight's player of the game is presented by your Southern California Toyota dealers. We make it easy for the Clippers. They had 7 guys scoring double figures. Terrence Mann had 19 points and 10 rebounds. Luke Kennard, big three-pointers. He had 18 points. He had 6 rebounds. Like I mentioned, 7 guys scoring double figures. Reggie Jackson with 17 points and 6 assists. So it wasn't just one player, and that's not how the Clippers operate. We know that. It is a number of players with Paul George out, with Kawhi Leonard out, with Norman Powell out. It's a number of guys that show up on the box score, and no different tonight for them than it's been in the past. So, something to keep in mind there. Okay, let's go out to the phone lines here. I want to get a chance to end up taking some calls from Laker fans. So let's go out to Funch. Give me one there while we get the names here. Let's go to Joe in the Inland Empire. Joe, what's going on?
Hey, Alan, what's up, dog? How you feeling?
Good. It would be nice to start off the second half of the season with a W. What'd you think of tonight's game? What are you taking away?
I'm happy I'm going first today. I've just been disgusted. Even over the All-Star break, I'm done with LeBron. I'm just kind of there. Tonight was another. I think last time I called was after the Warriors game when he missed the bucket at the buzzer, and I kind of said that LeBron isn't clutch. Tonight he kind of proved a little bit how he runs for moments again, passing off he dribbled it out so far in the clock, and then put Melo in a tough spot where he had to shoot the deep three. But even before that, when he shot that long 35-foot flat three-pointer, we was winning. That's when you know he don't got no legs no more. And I'm just tired of him just pointing fingers at everybody. Everybody can't do this. You guys aren't getting me that. He's not 25 no more. He's 37, so we're just at a point where we have to look at the situation. Like I told you, we have to point the finger at LeBron in a way that he can't lift us. He's not a top 5 player no more. Yes, he gets stats. That's good. That's cool. He might be a top 10, top 15, but that's not him being a top 10, top 15 player isn't going to raise us.
Joe, let me jump in. Let me jump in. I appreciate you calling in. I know you got a lot of thoughts, and I'm sure there's a lot of Laker fans that got a lot of thoughts on this game. I know at 3 you're talking about. You're right. It's not a good shot. The final possession, you knew Ty Lue was going to throw a double team at LBJ. Smart thing to do. Hey, you want somebody going to beat us? Cool. Let's throw a double team. Make one of these other players take a big time shot. I don't like how LeBron dribbled it out for as long as he did. When you're down 1, this isn't a tie game and you take the final shot. This isn't a you're up 1 and you can run some clock here and they're going to get the ball back with a few seconds left. You're down a point. Get moving, go to the basket, try to do it before the other team sets its defense. That's number 1. Number 2, it's not his fault that Carmelo Anthony pulled up from 25 feet. Look, LeBron didn't have one of those games. Shot 6 of 18 from the field, 2 of 8 from the three-point line. Maybe you are right. Maybe there are some tired legs there. He is 37 years old. He did play 36 minutes, which I think is the most minutes of any player that played tonight. But I'm not going to overreact to LBJ on having a bad night tonight. If the Lakers are going to win without Anthony Davis, you need obviously multiple players to step up. And some guys did. Look, THT dropped 16 tonight. Carmelo gave you 18. I thought Dwight, we didn't get a chance to talk about what a fantastic night Dwight Howard had for the Lakers with 14 points and 16 rebounds. Also 3 block shots. But the late game execution I can't argue with, because that's not how you that's not how you close out a game, or that's not how you execute at the end. Try to get to the basket when you're only down by 1. Taking a 25-footer makes no sense to me. Let's go to Edgar in L.A. Edgar, appreciate you calling in. What's going on?
How's it going, man? Good. Thank you. So a lot of frustration here with Laker fans in L.A., and I just want to say a couple things. First of all, Carmelo Anthony is just annoying because we could be down by 13, 15 points. He hits a three-pointer, and then he starts tapping his head like he did something special, and that's been annoying to.
All right, sorry, buddy. You got cut off there. Let me go to another call. Feel free to call back in. Okay, no, go ahead. Okay. You're back. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just saying a couple things here. So Carmelo Anthony is very annoying just because of the fact that we could be down 13, 15 points, and as soon as he hits a three-pointer, he starts tapping his head like he did something special. That is so annoying, especially when we're not we're not even at 500, and he does that stuff. It's just completely annoying. Second of all, I'm going to go off of what some people are saying, like LeBron took this shot, LeBron took that shot. You know what? I'm bothered that he doesn't take enough shots. The last 5 minutes of the game, and rest in peace, Kobe, but the last 5 minutes of the game, he should not be passing the damn ball. He should take it. He should isolate and call ISO and tell everyone, get the hell out of my way. I'm taking over this damn game, but he doesn't have it in him. It's just super, it's something that he doesn't have in him. And what we should have done, honestly, it all comes down to everything, even the organization. We should have got that boy from Compton, DeMar DeRozan. That's who we should have picked up, and it's showing now. So those are my points, and thanks
Appreciate you calling in. Thanks, Edgar. Thanks for calling in. Let's go to another call here. John in L.A. John, what's going on? John, you there, bud?
Hello, how you doing?
Good,
yes,
man. Thanks for calling in.
No problem. I just see it as sometimes momentum can take you and it can break you. The momentum took us when Austin Reed jumped on the floor and played with the block and played great defense, and that turned everything around. But then momentum broke off of a couple of bad shots. But it's not about the bad shots because it goes in, you happy about it, but it's the bad shots and then don't get back in transition defense. And
Fair.
The Clippers came down and had a couple of layups. A man came on the right-hand side and had a three-pointer. That hurts. And on coaching, if you look at the timeout, especially in the last 3 timeouts Tyronn Lue took, the Clippers came out and scored 2 backdoor layups and purposely on the third one got the ball to Morris, who only took a few shots, only had 10 points because Russell Westbrook was guarding him and gave him the shot and was able to score on that. And then the play where you were talking about where they double-team LeBron, the play before that, out of the blue, Tyronn Lue, coaching on defense now. They trapped LeBron. He gave it to Westbrook at the free throw line. Westbrook went and shot a 5-footer. Chick would have said, shot from 2, missed by 3. So those little things that changes up when it comes to momentum and coaching. I don't know why certain coaches, Vogel, would try to change where Dwight Howard is playing well, and then you adapt to what somebody else is doing instead of making them adapt to you. Dwight Howard could be in the –
Do me a favor. Stay on the line. Stay on the line here for a quick second. Just congratulations. You're tonight's Fantasy Springs Resort Casino best caller. Just a quick 2-hour drive to the Palm Springs area for championship golf, world-class entertainment, 24-hour Vegas-style gaming, nightclubs, and hotel. Visit FantasySpringsResort.com to book today. Good points. I thought they were good points. I really do. I think the momentum shift, how quick it could change in favor of the Lakers and against the Lakers, I think is a fair point. And those specific plays that you were talking about, I think were fair as well. Let's take a quick listen here. Russell Westbrook on the Lakers' loss to the Clippers.
Hey, Russ, you scored to make it a 5-point game with just over 2 minutes to go. And wondered what you saw from that point on both sides of the floor as you guys weren't able to close it out.
Just feel like we didn't get stops like we needed to, obviously. I feel like we could use our advantage a little more, attack the basket, use that to our advantage. But we got some good looks, to close the game, but wasn't good enough.
Russ, in the moment, what level of clarity did you have about what happened in the final 40 seconds in terms of the reviews? What could you review?
I wasn't even paying no mind to it. Whatever call was going to be called, that was going to be that.
As a player, when it drags on 7-8 minutes, something like it did tonight, what's that like? Obviously, it's pretty unique in that situation.
Just like I just said, I just chill and wait till they make the call and then get ready to play.
Russ, sort of in the grander scheme, is there anything about the team tonight that you saw that, you guys have talked about kind of building momentum out of All-Star break. Was there evidence of that from the team tonight or parts of the game that worked?
A little bit, little parts of it, but I think we could have done a lot better throughout the game, but not good enough tonight, especially a team we're trying to catch and close the gap on, so it's got to be better.
Russ, not to belabor this, I'm just trying to get a sense of how many of you guys had experienced a situation like that where the one play you assume is being challenged, Covington being out of bounds, but then they can go further back in the sequence to whether LeBron was involved. Is that something that's new to you? Have you experienced something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the rules. They obviously know the rules that they can do it or do it not, so I'm not really sure what the rules are. But, nothing never seemed to surprise me. So,
Russ, just to be clear, you said that you thought maybe you guys offensively would have been better if you'd gotten downhill a little bit more. Was that their defense is taking away? Was it settling for jump shots? What kind of stopped you guys from executing that?
I don't know. I'll look at the film and see, but I know that we were pretty good attacking and getting down to the basket, regardless of what defense they were in. So that's just from my perspective what I thought we should have done to close the game or find ways. But we did get some good looks on the perimeter as well. But.
Hey, Russ, the past few seasons after the All-Star break, you've tended to go on a pretty strong surge to close out the season. What do you think accounts for that, and what's the key to have that this time around?
Yeah, just conditioning my mind and body to make sure that I finish the year and, people like to call it second half, but, the last half of the season, I would say, just trying to make sure that I'm body and things are moving in the right direction. Most importantly, winning games as a team, and that's kind of my mentality.
All right, that's Russell Westbrook right there. By the way, he kind of reiterated the same thing, try to get to the basket. I couldn't agree more with him. I really can't. He is right about that. They did settle for jumpers. And, look, you could look at a bunch of different possessions in a course of 48 minutes. We're going to get a chance here from Carmelo Anthony. And Carmelo, I'm sure, is going to get asked that same question about that look. So we'll do that coming up next. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Stay right here. If you want to be a part of the show, 877-710-ESPN. Lakers lose to the Clippers 105-102. This is the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show on 710 ESPN.
With Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo, tacos or burgers?
Burgers.
Pineapple on pizza?
Sometimes.
Favorite cheat meal?
Pizza.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Favorite Saturday morning cartoon?
Kung Fu flicks.
Funniest player on the team?
Dwight.
Teammate who thinks he's the funniest player on the team?
Nobody really thinks they funny.
Your favorite superhero?
I'm a Captain America guy.
I mean, you got to match the initials too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a Captain America guy.
4 seconds with Trevor Ariza. Trevor, tacos or burgers?
I'm going to go with tacos.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Favorite cheat meal?
Ooh, peanut butter and jelly.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Favorite Saturday morning cartoon growing up?
Animaniacs. Animaniacs.
Funniest player on the team?
Goofiest would be Dwight.
Favorite superhero?
Batman.
So they can choose what they want, and you get the taste you enjoy. Only at PizzaHut.com.
Hi, this is Anthony Davis of your Los Angeles Lakers.
Hi, it's Lebron. The Lakers play here.
It's time for Lakers Postgame with Sliwa.
Now, here's Alan Sliwa.
Points in the Paint all season long is sponsored by Vista Paint. Right now, local residents can take 40% off on factory direct high-quality Vista Paint products. A Vista Paint team member will show you how. Locally owned, manufactured, and operated since 1956. Visit Vista Paint. 50-50 points in the paint. Lakers and the Clippers tied there. The only score that matters is the final score, 105-102. Clippers over the Lakers. So just a quick reminder here. NBA standings, Lakers 27-32. They're 5 games below 500. Clippers are 31-31. Why is that significant? It's important because the Lakers are sitting at 9th in the Western Conference. They have, coming into tonight's game, they have the 3rd toughest schedule left in the NBA. So, you know, it's going to be a challenge the rest of the season, whether the Lakers were completely healthy or they're not. So every game that you lose, you dig yourself just that much more of a hole. The Clippers now have a tiebreaker on the Lakers as well. They're 3-0 against the Lakers this season, which is kind of crazy to think about. I know a lot of the games basically have all come down to the wire. They've all been close. But the Clippers have won each one of those games. So you could say that the Clippers, they don't have a 2.5 game on the Lakers. They have a 3.5 game lead. 3.5 game lead on the Lakers at this point with 23 games left to go. The Lakers now are trying to get out of this 9th spot so they don't have to win 2 games just to make the playoffs. And that'd be the position that they'd be in if the season ended today. So that's why games like this are so significant. We got a game coming up on Sunday against the Pelicans. Pelicans went to Phoenix and won a game on the road. So just to put that in perspective, if the Lakers were to lose on Sunday, they'd be 2 games out of being in the 10th spot. And now, you know, the kind of the trickle effect continues here, knowing that they have the 3rd toughest schedule. So we'll see what happens moving forward, but just give everybody an idea. That's where the Lakers are sitting right now. Let's take a quick listen here to Carmelo Anthony. So Lakers lose 105-102. Carmelo Anthony, I'm sure the conversation is going to be brought up on his shot selection towards the end of the game when LeBron gets double-teamed. Here's Carmelo Anthony.
Hello, can you just take us through the final minute and all the waiting and then finally get back on the court and then, of course, what you were looking for in that last possession?
Let's see. We kind of started with that call, you know, the challenge. I honestly don't know what happened on that, what made them change it. And then from there, it was just a matter of us trying to figure it out. I think we was up 1. Some seconds left down the stretch. Drew up our play, ran the play. Brown had the ball at left wing, left pro lane. Clippers did a good job of sending 2-3 guys out and getting it out of his hands at that time. It was just a matter of just getting a look at the basket at that point.
Did you expect the Clippers were going to double, and then was there some secondary action you guys were looking to?
No, we kind of had a feeling. T. Lue was not going to let LeBron play one-on-one like that at the end of the game. But at that point, it was just a scramble. They scrambled, and then we was trying to scramble at the same time. So,
Mel, how did your game develop? Obviously, it seemed like it was you were trying to get a rhythm in the first quarter, and then you found it maybe in the third. How did your night go, and what were you kind of feeling as you were taking the last shot that you took?
The last shot, or you asked me about
your last shot?
Oh, I was just trying to get a look, trying to get a good look. At that point, it was just a scramble. I don't know how much time it was at that point. I think I still had probably 2 seconds or something like that. But it was just a matter of just getting a good look. I shot it short. My legs wasn't underneath for me, but I missed it. You know, it is what it is. I'll take that same shot any night. Tonight it was just that moment where my legs wasn't underneath of me on that particular shot. But overall, I felt like I was getting my legs back, getting my rhythm back. You know, as the game went on. First quarter was just seeing where I was at. You know, trying to see where I was at physically, what I can do, what was my limitations out there. But as the game went on, it was just a matter of me getting right back in pocket out there.
Melo, do you feel like over the course of this season, this team has played a version of this game a lot of different times? Fall behind, double figures, come back, push ahead in the fourth, and then come up short. It feels like that. I don't know if I want to say pattern, but like it does feel like we've seen versions of that before this season. Did it feel that way to you? And what does this team have to do to fix kind of the end part of that?
Well, I mean, if you look back at a couple games last week, the Utah game, we was down, came back, and we pulled that one out. Tonight, we was down, came back, had the lead. And Coffee made a free throw, put him up one or something like that, and we wind up losing this game. So it happens, man. It's not something that I can pinpoint as far as why we lose those games, the close games. And then on the other hand, we win sometimes in a close game.
Are you more concerned after the final minute, I guess, with execution stuff for the last couple minutes, or is it the stuff that went into you guys falling down?
Yeah, I don't think it comes down to the last 30 seconds or the last minute or the shot that I even took. I mean, if I make the shot, we win the game. We're sitting here talking about something different. I mean, we dug ourselves a hole. We had to fight back, off the break. After a long break, you got to fight your way back out of a hole, down 15, down 16. That takes a lot out, especially early. But we crawled our way back. We had a chance to win the game. We had the game in our hands with a minute and some change to go. And this is a game we're supposed to win.
Yeah, Melo, just along those lines, you said the game you're supposed to win. It's kind of a math equation at this point in terms of where you guys are going to end up. Trying to catch the Clippers, maybe get out of the play-in. Just what's the level of frustration to have a game like this that you felt like you were supposed to win? Maybe at one point felt like you certainly had your control, and then to see it be an L at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like talking about the level of frustration. Yes, we want to win. We wanted to win. We should have won, but we sit here and after every game, after every loss, we sit here and say, what's the level of frustration? Then, we shooting ourselves in the foot. It happened tonight. It was a game. Like I said, we were supposed to win. We had it in our hands. And we go home and regroup. Tomorrow we get back in the gym practice and look at film and see what happened. I don't want, there's no level of frustration, maybe, but we don't see it. I don't see it. We don't feel it. Because we know who we are. We know our potentials.
Melo, you guys had that dominant third quarter where you outscored them 31-15. What did you see in that quarter that worked so well? And do you think there's anything you could take from that moving forward?
Our energy was different in that second half than it was in the first half. We was active. We was a lot more active. We were talking. We were communicating. We were scrambling. And it felt like we found the rhythm out there in that second half. And defensively, I thought we did a great job in that third quarter coming out. Stopping them. We started to make shots in that third quarter, shots that we was missing in the first half. It was a tale of two halves, and our second half tonight was much better than our first half.
All right, that's Carmelo Anthony right there. When we come back, we'll get a chance to hear from the King. Lakers lose to the Clippers, 105-102 the final score. LeBron James next. Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show on 710 ESPN.
Seconds with Trevor Ariza. Trevor, tacos or burgers?
I'm going to go with tacos.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Favorite cheat meal?
Ooh, peanut butter and jelly.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Favorite Saturday morning cartoon growing up?
Animaniacs. Animaniacs.
Funniest player on the team?
Goofiest would be Dwight.
Favorite superhero?
Batman.
Powered by Pizza Hut. Try the new Detroit style from Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hi, this is Anthony Davis of your Los Angeles Lakers.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
It's time for Lakers Postgame with Sliwa.
Now, here's Alan Sliwa.
Lakers lose to the Clippers, 105-102 the final score. Next game for the Lake Show is against the Pelicans coming up on Sunday night at Crypto.com Arena. Tip-off will be at 7. Pregame show will start at 5:30, so that's the next game for the Lakers. I do want to get a chance to hear from LBJ. So here's LeBron on the Lakers' 3-point loss to the Clippers.
Hey, LeBron, Frank had said he was frustrated with the sequencing of that call after the whole review and, initially reviewing the play with Covington and then kind of going back to look at your play. What was your take on all that, and how did you think it impacted the game?
Well, I mean, it impacted the moment. The whole game is so many possessions to say, okay, that impacted the game. But that definitely impacted the moment. I mean, that rule has never been explained to me. And I know every rule in this game as long as I've been playing. I never knew that you could challenge a play that wasn't called on the floor. And that's essentially what happened. The play that they were reviewing was the Covington. It was on the line and see how much time was on the clock. That was explained to me. But they allowed the Clippers to review a play that wasn't even called on the floor. That would be like if I was going down the floor and I traveled, but the refs called a foul, they're not going to, and you challenge it, they're not going to go back and say, well, you traveled. It's never happened. It happens so much in our game. You can't challenge a play. Well, I guess you can. And to my knowledge, a play that hasn't been called on the floor. I've never seen that before.
Does the length of a review, do you think, is that something that makes a big impact when you're sitting there for that long, especially if the call is that close?
I pretty much knew that it wasn't going in our favor by the amount of time that they were over there.
LeBron, there's a lot of focus over the last few days about specifically this team and wanting to attack the second half. And Melo Day saying we're built for this. Energy levels seem like it was all lines were focused on the same place. How frustrating is it then to come out and see yourselves down 16 pretty early in a game that everybody seemed to agree was pretty important?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, every game for us is important at this point. Going into our last 20-plus games, every game is important. And for us to go down in the fashion that we went down, for us to continue. We went down in the Utah game as well, and we have to see if we can scrap our way out of it. So we definitely would like to play better basketball to where we're not building deficits like that early on or even going into halftime.
Brian, getting back to the challenge, are you able to have a dialogue in that moment with the officials? I don't not necessarily persuade their thinking, but for an explainer.
No. I mean, sorry to cut you off, but I went over and said, "How can you challenge a play that wasn't called on the floor?" And the referee told me that it's in the rule book. I just never seen it happen before. And I watch basketball all day long, every day. I watch these NBA games all day long. I've never seen it happen.
LeBron, stepping away from tonight's game, you obviously kind of the dominant conversation around the team over the last week has kind of stemmed from some of your comments over All-Star Weekend, leading to obvious speculation about your future. But the question I have is, what is your level of confidence that the Lakers front office can put championship contending rosters together around you for as long as you are, as long as you're here?
Very confident. I mean, they've done it. They've shown me that. I have nothing. I mean, ever since I got here, the front office, Jeannie, Linda, Kurt, and everybody has welcomed me with open arms and has given me an opportunity to play for a historical franchise and welcome my family in. And I've just tried to give back my part of the game and inspire kids and inspire people that want to follow the Lakers and put them back at a level that they were accustomed to be. And it's always been my focus. I don't understand how some of my comments over the weekend was taken to a whole different area of, could I see myself retiring as a Cavalier? I never said I would see myself playing in a Cavaliers uniform. I mean, I talked to Jason Lloyd, and he asked me, and I said, well, I don't know what tomorrow holds, but actually me playing for the Cavs, I don't know about that. Could I see myself retiring as a Cav? And he asked me, well, like, you just come here and sign for a day and retire as a Cav? I said, that possible could be. And then things about my son, me wanting to play with my son wherever he's at, me going there. Like, you guys take some of my words and just like twist them to different places where they shouldn't go. And if I comment or compliment, a GM that's in OKC, I really believe that he's done a phenomenal job. And you guys spin that to me saying that Rob is not doing a great job. Or if I say the GM from the Rams, I love this fucking T-shirt. I thought it was dope. And I believe the same way. I don't care about picks. I care about winning championships. Well, how is that directed at Rob in the Lakers franchise? Rob has done the same thing. He went and got AD. He didn't care about picks as well, obviously. So I'm so weird that you guys can take, not you guys, whoever started this whole thing. And, I mean, Bill doesn't like the Lakers anyway, so it's always going to be a negative. Anytime Bill says anything about the Lakers, it's going to be negative. So I hope no one in Lakers faithful listen to Bill Oram. I hope not. He hasn't said one great thing about the Lakers in so long. Okay? Appreciate it.
So, LeBron, just for clarity's sake there then, I mean, is this, obviously you have one more year beyond this. Is this a team that you see yourself playing with beyond?
This is a franchise I see myself being with.
Beyond your contract?
I'm here. You guys, I continue to tell you guys, I mean, Dave knows me more than any one of you guys. And I tell you, I literally live in the moment. I do. I live in the moment. And I see myself being with the purple and gold as long as I can play. But I also have a goal that if it's possible, I don't even know if it's possible, that if I can play with my son, I would love to do that. Is that like something that any man or anybody should want that in life? That's like the coolest thing that could possibly happen. That doesn't mean I don't want to be with this franchise.
LeBron, you're talking about how you and the franchise and the front office and ownership were, on good terms. There was a report by ESPN and The Athletic that Rich met with the franchise this week while you were on your break. Why do you think that was important, and why did that have to happen?
I heard it just like you guys heard it. When you guys saw the report, I saw the report. I was literally just trying to get away from the game as much as I could before this later stage takes over. But, I think it's important that it's always stays transparent between us, and we don't really care about the outside noise. I think a lot of people are, to be honest, just jealous of the relationship that Rich has with the front office and with his team, and the relationship that I have that I've grown over the last 4 years. That's what I think it boils down to.
LeBron, as we kind of talk about all this big picture stuff, it seems like a lot of it stems from the fact that this season has been what it's been.
That's exactly what it is.
And I guess, though, what I'm wondering is, as somebody who was active in putting this all together and was active in trying to figure, and is seemingly going to be active in trying to figure this all out, how does all of that sit with you? Like the beyond the court stuff, like the other facets of your role within this organization and sort of the responsibility for some of that.
What do you mean by that? My responsibility is to lead this team out every single night.
But you've taken an active role, though, right? In what this team should look like, how it should play, and what it should be like
in my career.
Mm-hmm. And I guess how this year presenting you with struggles that you really haven't had, since maybe I think your second year in the league, that you haven't been in this type of position.
Record-wise, I agree.
Do you feel that's interesting? I guess how does that that responsibility of pushing the right buttons and doing that stuff, does that make the winning and losing harder? I guess that's probably the bigger one.
Well, first of all, I don't push the buttons. They ask for my opinion, and I voice my opinion and what I believe, but I don't press any buttons. That's what our front office is for. That's what our leadership group is for. I don't press no buttons. So we can state that right now. I do wish that we were just playing better basketball. And between me, AD, and Russ on the floor at the same time, I think it's less than 15 games this season. And that's the biggest disappointment so far, that us three, because we all wanted to see this work, and we just haven't been on the floor. I don't know how many games it's been. I think it's less than 15. 17, it's pretty bad when you only got 20-some games left.
All right, that's LBJ there. Very interesting. By the way, spent some time this morning with Travis Rogers, and we were talking about some of this conversation about LBJ. So he addresses what has been a ton of chatter over the last week or so. I said this earlier, I'll say it again. I don't think the man has to explain himself about anything. His contract with the Lakers, he's got one more year after this season. I truly, truly believe he single-handedly changed this Lakers organization around over the last couple of years. He brought championship number 17 to the Lakers. You can have your opinion on Bron, and it's fair. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. But I don't think Bron has to explain anything to anybody out there. He is a powerful voice. That's how he's been his entire career. And at the end of the day, are you getting results or are you not? This year, they're not getting results, so the criticism is all good and it's all fair. But, obviously since LeBron James has been a Laker, they've won an NBA championship, and then there have been some injuries that have ruined things. At the same time, the chemistry this season has not been a fit, and I don't think anybody is really arguing that or trying to make a case against that. He also addressed playing with his son at the end of his career, or whatever, whether that's, obviously after, that could be potentially after the chapter is done with the Lakers. Got no problem with that. as long as the Lakers are competing and trying to win a championship and staying all in with LeBron James, that's all you can ask for. We'll see what happens the rest of the season. Appreciate everybody that tuned into the show. Clippers over the Lakers, 105-102, the final score. Dr. Clapper tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. We're back on Sunday. Lakers taking on the Pelicans. Crypto.com Arena. Tip-off at 7 p.m. Pregame show at 5:30. I'm Alan Sliwa. This is the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show on 710 ESPN.
Thank you for listening to Lakers basketball tonight. Game 58 of the season is in the books.
Lakers basketball on ESPN LA is sponsored.
Delivered by the new Spicy Lovers Pizza from Pizza Hut. A fiery fusion with layers of flavor. Only at Pizza Hut. Order now at pizzahut.com. Lakers basketball is